You cried at a commercial once. Not a sad one, just a dog running toward its owner, and something in your chest just opened. Or maybe it was a song you have heard 100 times, and on the 101st time it hit differently, and you had to sit with it for a minute. Or maybe it is the way a stranger's bad mood in the morning can ruin your entire afternoon, even though it had nothing to do with you. If any of that sounds familiar, you already know what this video is about. You feel things deeply, more deeply than most people around you seem to, and you have probably been told at some point that this is a problem. It isn't, and today psychology is going to explain exactly why. Here is what we are going to cover today. What is actually happening in the brain and nervous system of someone who feels everything too deeply, why this trait exists, and what evolutionary purpose it serves, what it costs, and what it gives. And if you are watching this, there is a good chance you already know which side of this you are on. The fact that you are even curious about this says something about you. People who feel nothing deeply do not search for videos like this. So let us get into it. In 1996, a psychologist named Elaine Aron published research that changed how we understand emotional sensitivity. She identified a trait she called sensory processing sensitivity, and she found that roughly 15 to 20% of the population has it. That is 1 in 5 people, which means if you are in a room of 10 people right now, 2 of them feel the world the way you do. They just probably haven't said anything about it either. What Aron found was that highly sensitive people do not just feel more. Their brains actually process information more deeply. More connections are made. More layers are noticed. More meaning is extracted from the same input. Think of it like this. Most people look at a painting and see a painting. A highly sensitive person looks at the same painting and sees the loneliness in the brushstrokes, the specific shade of blue that reminds them of something they cannot quite name, the story behind the story. It is not imagination. It is a different kind of nervous system, one that is tuned to a higher frequency. Now here is where it gets complicated. Because the same nervous system that lets you feel beauty more deeply also makes you feel pain more deeply. Criticism lands harder. Conflict feels more threatening. Loud environments are genuinely exhausting in a way that is hard to explain to people who don't experience it. Neuroscientists studying this trait have found that highly sensitive people show significantly more activation in the insula, the part of the brain responsible for self-awareness and empathy, when processing emotional stimuli. In plain terms, their empathy circuits are running at full power all the time. This is why walking into a room full of people can feel like walking into a wall of noise, even when it is completely silent. You are not just reading the room, you are absorbing it. And that is exhausting in a way that most people will never fully understand, unless they are one of you. Picture a family dinner. Everyone is talking, laughing, passing food around, and across the table your uncle is smiling, but something is off. You cannot explain it. His smile is fine, his words are fine, but something in the way he is holding his fork. Nobody else notices. You notice. Later, you find out he had just received some difficult news that morning, and you already knew. You just did not have the words for it yet. That is not a coincidence. That is your nervous system doing what it was built to do, reading the signal underneath the signal. Here is the part nobody tells you. The trait that makes your life harder is also the trait that makes you irreplaceable. Research on highly sensitive people consistently shows they score higher on measures of creativity, empathy, and moral reasoning. They are disproportionately represented among artists, therapists, teachers, and leaders who actually change things. Because here is the thing about feeling everything deeply. You cannot fake caring. You cannot pretend to notice what you notice. You cannot turn off the part of you that sees the person behind the performance. And in a world full of people who are very good at not noticing things, that is actually a superpower. A slightly exhausting superpower, but still. So what do you actually do with this? 3 things, practical ones. First, stop calling it a flaw. The language you use about yourself matters more than you think. There is a difference between "I am too sensitive" and "I have a sensitive nervous system." One is a character judgment. The other is a biological fact. Start using the second one. Second, protect your recovery time. Highly sensitive people are not broken, but they do need more downtime than average. Not because they are weak, because their nervous system processes more. More input requires more recovery. That is just math. Scheduling quiet time is not self-indulgence. It is maintenance. Third, learn the difference between absorbing and witnessing. You will always feel what others feel. That is not going away. But there is a skill, and it is a learnable skill of being present with someone's pain without taking it into your own body. Witnessing instead of absorbing. Being moved without being swept away. That skill is the difference between being drained by your sensitivity and being powered by it. Here is what I want you to take from this. Feeling everything too deeply is not a malfunction. It is a different operating system. One that runs more processes, notices more data, and generates more output than the standard model. Yes, it crashes more often. Yes, it needs more maintenance. But the things it produces, the art, the empathy, the connections, the moments of genuine human understanding, those are not available on the standard model. The world told you that you feel too much. Psychology says you feel exactly the right amount. The world just hasn't caught up yet. If this video found you, subscribe. We go deep here every week. And if you know someone who feels everything too much and has been told that is a problem, send this to them. The next video is going to hit even harder. Click it. You will see why.